store. Ends 5/29. Visit stablesconnect.com/shipping for details.
So you've got a smart speaker. That's great. Just say play 96.9 The Game on iHeartRadio. And you can listen to us whenever you want.
WYGM Orlando, WJRR HD2 Cocoa Beach. Listen live on iHeartRadio. Now. No, seriously, do it now. Time to put the pedal to the floor. It's loud and live and local. Oh, time for open mic.
Happy Hump Day, everybody. We are loud, live, and local every morning, 6 to 9:30 on FM 96.9 The Game, AM 740, HD 101.1-2. You can also watch us on social media. Just go to YouTube, look for the Open Mic live stream, and there I am with my new ring light, all lit up, looking good. The Bulldog, Mike Bianchi, sports columnist of the Orlando Sentinel, Adam Reardon, the deceptive intellect, Austin Pistulka, the Sultan of Sound.
Yeah, that's right, Mike, and it's time for the reveal, baby. Arrive, raise hell, leave. That's all I've got on the menu for today, brother.
That is right. Austin Pistulka. By the way, real quick before we make the big announcement, Kelly Velez, the Prince of Production, we had multiple meetings yesterday.
We did.
With the higher-ups at iHeartMedia, and we have decided that, yes, you're going to become full-time on Open Mic. Yeah. So.
It's a pleasure, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Yeah.
I want to thank my mother and my father and get my Stevie Wonder on.
And you've done so well as the Prince of Production. We've decided to give you a promotion because Austin Pistulka is leaving.
It's true. Yeah. It's true.
Austin Pistulka, this is his last day on Open Mic, moving back to Nebraska. You want to tell us why you're moving, Austin.
So I'm moving back because my wife and I said we're going to give Florida 3 or 4 years. Let's see what happens. And that's exactly what we did. We gave Florida a try. It's beautiful. It's wonderful. We'll come back to visit, but it's not home. And we want to start a family soon. And we also want to be able to drop the kids off at Grandpa and Grandma's house and go on a date and all that sort of stuff. So.
You're looking for cheap babysitters.
Absolutely. Also, oddly enough, houses are a little bit cheaper in Nebraska. So, we felt it was time to go home, settle down, and take a nice little easy trip into starting our family.
This isn't an easy, thing to come across, man. I don't know how to feel about this.
Yeah, I'm leaving my Florida family to go back to my Nebraska family. Oh,
that's how I feel right now.
Incredible.
I love you, man.
I love you too, Kelly. It's been a blast having you on the show for a little bit, and I can't wait to hear how it goes from here on out.
Well, I'm going to use this as a jumping off point for our Open Mic early morning inspirational quote of the day. This comes from Zig Ziglar, who once said, and I quote, "There is no elevator to success. You have to take the stairs." End quote. Deceptive intellect. Can you sort of translate that for us?
That's a pretty easy one right there. There's no elevator to success. You can't just push a button and then rise to the top. You got to take the stairs, baby. Hard work.
That's right.
It's going to be tough. When you get to that second, third, fourth, fifth, 75th flight of stairs, you're going to be sweating. Your legs are going to say, "I quit. Please just stop. Please stop." But if you want to get to the penthouse, the top, success, you got to put in those steps each and every day, especially towards the top, the hard ones.
That's right.
Yeah. And I'm going to use that quote to talk about Austin Pistulka here for a little bit. Since he's been on this show, what's it been, a year and a half, Austin?
Yep, just about a year and a half.
Year and a half. He's taken the stairs during the year and a half. The guy has worked his ass off to help this show be the best show in all of Orlando. Austin, Adam, and myself, again, to me, the show's as good as it's ever been. It's better than it's ever been. And we suffered a blow during the pandemic when Adam got furloughed, and thank God he's back now. But during the pandemic, Austin rose to the occasion. Like, again, he took the stairs right to the penthouse. It was Austin and I on the show. There was no sports going on. I was working remotely. Still am, by the way. We were contriving topics left and right. And, again, Austin just, it was an incredible performance. And there's another quote we've used on this show. Success begins by showing up. Austin, I don't know, have you ever missed a day? Have you ever missed a day?
Yes. I've missed, well, hold on. I've missed one day because I had a COVID scare on one day, and then I missed a couple weeks ago
shuttle launch
for the shuttle launch. And then I've maybe missed one other for a wrestling tournament. I think I am below 5 days that I've missed on this show.
Again, and I've had a lot of producers on this show and a lot of co-hosts, all right? And it is hard getting up at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning, showing up at 5 o'clock or 4:30 or whenever we show up in the studio. It's hard. It is a lifestyle change. And I've had producers, call in with some of the weirdest excuses you would ever hear of. My wife's aunt is sick down in South Florida, and my wife is distraught, so I need to stay home with her. So, again, we've had all sorts of excuses. I've heard all sorts of excuses. And Austin Pistulka, man, he shows up all the time. All the time. So, do we have a standing ovation for Austin Pistulka? Can we give him a standing ovation? Can we do that? There we go.
Mike, thank you so much. Kelly, thank you. Thank you, Adam. Just thanks so much for those kind words. It makes me feel all warm and gooey inside.
Yeah, can I say something nice about Austin?
Absolutely.
Oh, dang, I was hoping you'd say no. I didn't have anything loaded up at the moment. I was trying to squeeze that one in right around 6:12 when it was time for a break. No, we'll have to wait for this. No, to be honest, radio is so different than it used to be. I mean, it continues to evolve, and people get these jobs and they like them and they're here and whatnot. Austin has a real passion for radio, and honestly, amongst people I've ever worked with, and I've been in the industry for 20 some odd years, Austin probably is in the top 2 to 3 of people that love radio, he loves like this theater of the mind, creating like this, the perception and the view in people's minds who are driving to work. And he likes having a good time and stuff, and that's really, really important. And he never takes himself too seriously. I mean, he can be the butt end of jokes, and he's good with that. And then he can deliver too. Guy can deliver. So keep it up, man. Wherever you end up, I know you're gonna do well, man.
Thanks,
Best of luck to you.
Appreciate it, man. It's weird doing this at the top of the show, man.
Well, we'll do it again later.
Okay,
we'll do it again when we. We'll do it again when we reset.
Oh, okay, good. I need this twice, guys. I just pump this feeling right into my veins, brother.
We got a couple of supplemental polls up on Austin's last day. You can go vote on all of our polls at 96.9 The Game. The first poll with today being his last day on open mic. What one trait do you think open mic listeners have most loved about Austin Pistulka? All right, that's one of the polls. The second poll is same question, but what one trait do you think open mic listeners have hated most about Austin Pistulka? And we have the same options, all right?
That's
the same
right.
options for both polls. Liberal leanings is the first choice. Screaming into the microphone, second choice. Cornhusker loyalty, third choice. Superhero fascination, fourth choice. We only have 4 choices on these Twitter polls. We could have put a myriad of other choices.
And feel free to do so in the comments.
Yeah, I'm going to go as far as what I love most about Austin Pistulka, and I don't know why, because the joke never gets old when he screams into the microphone when reading the poll options.
Well, it's
I laugh.
so funny!
Yeah, it is. I laugh every time, and it never gets old. So I love Austin screaming into the microphone. A lot of people think that's not good radio. You know what? I think it's funny. I think a lot of people think it's funny. And I know what's going to win what people hate most. The liberal leanings is going to win that.
I'm pretty sure.
But I'm going to defend Austin Pistulka right here on the liberal leanings, even though I make fun of it and I call him a socialist and all of that. I don't think Austin Pistulka is as liberal as people think he is. I think just because he doesn't like Trump, like a lot of us don't, all right? A lot of us don't. That means people think he's a liberal. Well, guess what? Liz Cheney's about to get thrown out of Congress, and she's about as conservative as you can get because she doesn't like Trump. So I think Austin's liberal leanings are a little overrated.
That's possible. I think you're right on that. Hey, before we duck into a break, if anyone wants to, give me a going away present, wants to thank me for my time here on Open Mic,
don't give up. Don't give out your cash app.
Oh
my God.
What's going on, brother?
Oh my God.
Mike. Okay, so let me say this: that he isn't already going away empty-handed. He's been using my my webcam this entire time, and he looks at me before the show and goes, "Hey, should I give this to Kelly, or is this a parting gift for me?"
That's right.
Like he made that one of the options. So then I had to choose between going, "Yeah, of course, it's mine,"
right.
or go "Yeah, sure, you can have it.
Yeah.
You can have that $70 webcam."
That's right.
This guy already got a $70 going away gift.
That's right. Thank you, Adam. It warms my heart to know that you thought of me in this parting moment.
Honestly, that never crossed my mind until you brought it up so awkwardly in front of everybody.
I could have walked away. You wouldn't have even thought about it.
Oh, no. I was already thinking about that. I was thinking about the webcam, not about giving it to you until you asked for it.
Anyway, my Cash App is $ Radio Guy Austin. If anyone wants to thank me for my time here on Open Mic, there we go. That's right, ladies and gentlemen.
All right.
You're going to have to add a self-promotion to things I hated about Austin.
Self-promotion, yeah, self-promotion should have been one of the options.
It should have been.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. All right, straight ahead, knock, knock. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Peanut.
Peanut who?
I'll give you the punchline next on Open Mic.
Open Mic with Mike Bianchi.
Skill level that he has is certainly John Elway-like.
We'll be back right after this.
Broadcasting live from the
Welcome back to Open Mic. I'm on YouTube right now on the Open Mic live stream. I'm waiting for the show to come back on. I think there's a little bit of a delay on YouTube before the show comes back on. I want to see how my new light looks on YouTube. Do I look all lit up? Got all sorts of options on my new light.
Mike is lit
Make
today.
it warmer.
Super lit.
All lit up. All lit up today. How do I look? How do I look, Reardon?
I said earlier, somebody said, can you see Mike's light? He's wearing like a purple, for those that...
Tie-dye T-shirt.
Purple
Rock and
tie-dye.
Roll Hall of Fame.
Yeah, so the light, these halo lights, is that what you call them, a halo light?
Halo light. Ring light.
Ring
halo
light. They're so bright, right? But they're great for lighting. But it's like reflecting the purple off of him, off of his shirt, like onto his face a little bit. I mean, it's kind of, the lighting there. And I said that Mike looks like a salamander.
In the best way possible. Yeah.
I have options here with this thing. I can make it dimmer. I can make it warmer.
Yeah, that was better. Yeah, that was better. That's better.
It was?
Yeah. See, I get to see it live. You're, right now, Mike, you're looking at it and go, what do you mean? It didn't change at all. Wait 30 seconds.
What about this?
No, the other one.
Better?
No, that still looks like you're like right in front of a television. You look like what Poltergeist. There you go. That one's good.
Okay.
Yeah. Remember Poltergeist, the little girl? You had the one setting on it. It looked like you were sitting right in front of the TV. Hello.
I thought that was Ring. I thought like where the girl comes out of the TV.
Yeah, in your generation it was Ring.
Oh, in my generation.
In Mike and I's generation it was Poltergeist. Okay.
Poltergeist. That's right.
Craig T. Nelson trying to get his kid out of that television set.
Yeah.
I should show my kids that. Not doing a very good
job of it either.
Yeah, they should remake that movie, but do it with like cell phones, so we can scare our kids into like not being on their cell phones the whole time.
I like it. I like it. All right. So, for some reason, I was talking with my buddy yesterday, and we started telling knock-knock jokes, and I don't know why, but he told one, and then I told one, then we went back and forth, and my knock-knock joke, my favorite one, I've known it since I was a kid, was, and I teased this, knock-knock.
Who's there?
Peanut.
Peanut who?
Peanut, your pants are on fire.
Peanut.
Get it?
Nut.
P, comma, nut.
Oh,
P, comma, nut.
Yes.
Your pants are on fire.
Ah, yeah. I get it. That's
sort of gross, but still.
How about knock-knock? Who's there? Get some water for me, quick. I don't want to have to pee my pants because they're on fire. Just throw some water on me, please.
Goodness gracious. Oh, man.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Dwayne.
Dwayne who?
Dwayne the bathtub. I'm drowning. Anyway, that's our spontaneous text question of the day. Give me your best knock-knock joke. Best knock-knock joke. Text them into 508.
Oh, you know what the best
57.
one is? Sorry, 50857. You know what the best one is? Knock-knock.
Who's
there? Not the banana one.
Ah, you knew exactly which one I was going for.
What?
Banana.
Good.
Banana
who? I'll tell you later.
I'll tell you
Who's
later.
there, banana?
Yeah.
Oh,
banana who? I'll tell you later.
It's orange.
Orange, you glad I didn't say banana?
Okay.
Yeah.
I've got a better one.
Oh, wait.
Knock, knock.
I like that he pitched that one as the best one ever and then gave it to us.
Listen, you start here and then you hit him with another one, too. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Interrupting cow.
Interrupting cow.
Moo, moo.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yes, sir.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Etch.
Etch who?
Bless you.
Oh!
You were fully in there, too. You were like, Etch who?
He's like, Etch-a-Sketch? What?
I was waiting for some Etch-a-Sketch thing. I don't know.
Here's my handkerchief.
All right, text those in 50857, your best knock-knock joke, and we will read the best ones on the air as we say farewell to Austin Pistulka on his last day on the show. And, all right, it's your last day. Give me a little magic music for Austin Pistulka on his last day on the show. Yeah.
Austin Pistulka. Oh, Austin Pistulka. Hey.
Austin Pistulka! Austin Pistulka! Yeah! Beware now.
He's
He's going to lift you. Hell yeah. Woo! I love it.
All right, the Magic didn't win last night. We usually only play the Magic music when they win, but they didn't lose by that much, all right? Usually when they play the Milwaukee Bucks, they played them twice prior to last night this year, and they've lost by an average of 29.5 points in those two losses. Last night, it was only 114 to 102. They only lost by a dozen last night. If you're looking for a positive, there you have it. There you have it. Steve Clifford, after the game, talked about, what did he talk about? The importance of practice? Is that what he said?
Especially with a team like this where we're young, practice time is valuable. So I do think it was, I do think it was beneficial. And what do they say? Most games are won before they're played, right? And we definitely had the right attitude. Coming in here tonight against obviously a terrific team. And I do think that, just like you said, having a chance to practice yesterday helped. And his messaging to me was the biggest part of that.
They were like, Cliff, how did you keep us so close against the Bucks? He's like, yeah, practice,
Well, again, during this shortened season with a lot of back-to-backs, there hasn't been much practice time, so they did get a chance to practice on Monday. You heard him talk about his messaging. He was talking about James Harris, who during Monday's practice, I guess Clifford gave his players an opportunity to speak, and James Harris, who went through the rebuild and a playoff run during his time in Denver, he essentially got up and told the young players, hey, if you want to make an impression for next season, you better play hard right now because you're essentially you're trying out for next season. So that was James Harris's message to the rest of the team. And again, they didn't win the game. They still lost by a dozen, but they kept it close, I guess, if there's any sort of a moral victory there. Where are the Magic now? I think they are. Where are they in the reverse standings? Are they still in fourth place? I believe they are. Checking the standings right now. So Minnesota beat Detroit last night. So that puts the Magic into a fourth place tie with Cleveland in the reverse standings. All right.
And
fourth
Oklahoma
place tie.
City.
Is it Oklahoma City?
Well, Oklahoma City is 21-49 right now, so they have one more loss than the Magic do. So,
okay,
so
So
not exactly.
the Magic are they're a half game behind Oklahoma City for third. Is that right?
Yeah, because Pistons are the lowest, and then
the Rockets
Houston's
are the lowest.
Sorry, Rockets are the lowest.
Then the Pistons, and then
the Thunder.
And you have the Thunder, and then Orlando and Cleveland right now are tied.
And they're a half game behind the Thunder?
Yep.
Okay. All right. We can get that done. We can easily lose the last three, although Philly probably isn't going to be playing for anything at the end of the season. They will have everything wrapped up, so they won't be playing hard. They'll be sitting their starters, so the Magic are going to really have to play bad to lose to the Sixers.
All right, more of those 10-day contracts for us.
That's right.
Yeah, sign a couple more of those. All right, straight ahead, UCF gets a big-time player out of the transfer portal. I'm going to say something next about the transfer portal that may shock you. That's next on Open Mic.
Absence makes the heart grow fonder. Yeah. More Open Mic in minutes.
Somebody just texted in, I would give Austin Pistulka a Nebraska knock-knock joke, but they're too corny.
That's good. I like that a lot.
Yeah. All right, big news at UCF yesterday. Notre Dame receiver Jordan Johnson announced he is transferring to UCF. He was a 5-star prospect, number 4 ranked wide receiver in the country, coming out of Jesuit High School in St. Louis. He announced his commitment to the Knights on social media yesterday. Obviously, Gus Malzahn has gotten quite a few players out of the transfer portal. Now, this kid is the highest ranked of all of them, Jordan Johnson. So he signed with Notre Dame as part of the recruiting class in 2020, last year. All right. He played in only 2 games last year as a true freshman in a reserve role. I guess he didn't like it. Maybe he wasn't getting enough playing time. I don't know. But he announced he announced he was entering the transfer portal earlier this month, and boom, he's at UCF. UCF's wide receiving core. Now, obviously, they lose a lot with Marlon Williams, Trey Nixon, Jacob Harris. 2 of those guys were drafted. I believe Trey Nixon was drafted. Jacob Harris was definitely drafted. Marlon Williams, I don't believe, was drafted, but he was their leading receiver last year. But now they have Jalen Robinson coming back. They have Ryan O'Keefe coming back. And now they have Jordan Johnson, this former 5-star prospect that Notre Dame originally signed. So I'm looking at Gus Malzahn's list of transfers. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4. He's got 8 of them now. He's got a running back from Northwestern, a running back from Auburn, a receiver from Auburn, a defensive lineman from Auburn, Big Cat Bryant, who was a big-time player at Auburn, Ricky Barber Jr. he got from Western Kentucky. Then he got a linebacker from BYU and a receiver from Tennessee, Brandon Johnson. So Gus Malzahn is hitting the transfer portal heavily. Also saw yesterday where FSU and Mike Norvell, he signed a couple of players out of the transfer portal. He signed a receiver from Kansas, Andrew Parchment, and an offensive lineman, Dylan Gibbons, from Notre Dame. They've got 9 transfers, I believe, FSU. I'm going to say this right now, and we talked about this during basketball season when all of those Gator basketball players transferred, and then Mike White went out and filled his roster with better transfers, in my opinion. I think the transfer portal is becoming more important than the high schools when it comes to recruiting, when it comes to source of talent. I think the transfer portal is more important than the high schools. And for this reason, obviously you're getting players who've been in a program for sometimes 2, 3, 4 years. They're men. They're bulked up. They've been through strength and conditioning at these major college programs. They know what to expect. You've had a chance to scout these guys and watch tape of them because, a lot of these guys have been playing. So I just think it's a safer route to go than recruiting high school talent. Thoughts?
I would disagree in the idea that, listen, I'm going to place my priority on these types of guys. One, I think high school,
even in basketball, you wouldn't do that?
Well, basketball's a little bit different because in football, kids got to stay there for 3 years anyhow. Basketball, they can be one-and-doners, talent-wise. I just think that, if guys give themselves that year to transition from the high school game to the college game to the strength and nutrition program and all the things that happen, I think, to me, I'd still go the high school route as far as where I'm looking to really build my program. But if you find holes in your roster, say you've been so successful, or maybe you just took over a team and you've got some holes that you need to fill, I love the transfer portal. If you're a guy who does get lost on a depth chart, listen, you're probably a pretty good receiver. But if you're the 4th or best receiver at a place like Alabama, and you don't want to wait till your junior or senior year to be the guy, then go ahead and go somewhere else. I have no problem with that. and I think what Gus Malzahn's been able to do here in year one is go, okay, well, I'm in this place. We've had some receivers go. I need some receivers. There's some guys available. Let me plug these holes. Now, you mentioned tape and stuff. There's no tape on this guy. It's just reputation of some recruiting analyst, a year and a half ago.
Yeah, you've got high school tape on him from I'm sure he was at some camps and all that stuff. But yeah, you're right. This is mainly just reputation. This guy's a 5-star guy, but again, a lot of recruiting analysts rated him high. He was the 4th-ranked recruit, wide receiver recruit in the country, and he did sign with Notre Dame. Here's an example of why I think the transfer portal is becoming more important than high schools. And this is basketball, albeit, all right? And basketball's a different animal. So Edgar Thompson did a huge story in the Orlando Sentinel over the weekend on the transfer portal, and he was talking about basketball. And there's more than 1,500 players right now in the transfer portal for men's basketball. For football, I think it's well over 1,000 as well. So he talked about this all-state point guard from Apopka, John Latimer, all right? And this guy played lights out this past year. All-state, he can't get an offer. He can't get an offer from anybody. This guy's got no offers from any big-time schools, any Power 5 schools. He's got a couple of smaller offers, but I mean, that's what's going on in high schools now. Some really good players aren't getting offers because guys like Mike White are just loading up their roster from the transfer portal. That's what's happening. High school players, high school coaches and players are very concerned that the transfer portal is supplanting high schools as the main source of talent at colleges. Will it ever get that way in football? I don't know, but hell, UCF's got 8 and FSU's got 9. How many players do they sign out of high school in a given year? Right?
Well, yeah, you could sign. I think, in most places, I think the limit is like 24, 25, something like that. You're only allowed to have 85 scholarships. But this will tell you where scholarship numbers have been for colleges for a while. If you've got enough room on your roster to bring in 8 guys, that means that you've had 8 vacancies or 8 spots that you can offer scholarships to guys. So I don't think it happens in football like that because there is 85 guys now in college basketball. I can see where spots fill up quickly, and if you're if you're Mike White, do you want to wait 2 years for a guy to develop as a shooting guard, or do you want to get a guy who averaged 13 points a game in the Big Ten? I mean, if your fan base is unhappy and you feel like you got to continue to win, then yes, I think the better option for Mike White is to get that kid that played at Penn State as opposed to the kid at Apopka, with all due respect.
Yeah. All right, we have a thought-provoking daily poll on this in the wake of wide receiver Jordan Johnson, a former 5-star recruit transferring from Notre Dame to UCF. What is a more important talent source for college programs? Is it high school or is it the transfer portal? You can go vote on that poll and all of our polls at 96.9 The Game. Straight ahead, sad news with a former college football player, former Heisman Trophy candidate. We'll talk about the death of Colt Brennan next on Open Mic.
96.9
Give us a call, 407-916-8255. Sad news yesterday. Everybody who's a college football fan remembers Colt Brennan, the former quarterback at Hawaii. Hell, I think Colt Brennan was on my Heisman ballot one year. He died yesterday at the age of 37 years old. This is according to his father, Terry Brennan, who told ESPN that his son died early Tuesday morning at a hospital in Newport Beach, California. I guess he'd been out with some friends and had ingested something laced with fentanyl, which is the drug that killed Prince and also killed Tom Petty. So yeah, that's a really strong pain-killing drug. A lot of people get addicted to it. It's sort of it's an opiate. And Colt Brennan has had some issues with alcohol and substance abuse over the years. He's been in a detox. He's been in legal trouble. But man, what a quarterback he was. College quarterback. He never did anything in the NFL. But back in, when was it? 2000 and
let me
look. Yeah, 2006, 2007. He was third in the Heisman in 2007. He threw for a bunch of yards. Who was the coach then? Was it June Jones? Yeah. And Colt Brennan he was a spectacular college quarterback. Never did much in the pros, though. In fact, never even played an NFL game. So Colt Brennan passes away at the age of 37. Speaking of substances, suspended Medina Spirit trainer Bob Baffert said yesterday in a statement that the Kentucky Derby winner was treated with an antifungal ointment ahead of the race, which may have resulted in the positive test for the steroid beta-methazone after the Derby. All right. I guess the horse had a bad case of athlete's hoof. I don't know.
Nice.
Who knew that tough acting Tinactin was laced with steroids, right?
Boom! Tough acting Tinactin.
I'd like to see him go back now that this has come out. Like, turns out that it may have been something that we did in fact give our. If we can go ahead and backtrack I'm being canceled, it's cancel culture. Somebody's tampered with, somebody's sabotaging me.
Yeah.
Turns out you didn't read the label.
Yeah, now it's tough acting Tinactin. He says, well, I didn't know what was in it. Isn't that the typical steroid abuser excuse? I didn't know that was Barry Bonds. I thought it was flaxseed oil.
That was just fake news.
Good Lord. I didn't know what was in it. Okay.
You didn't know because you didn't want to know.
Yeah, that's what every steroid abuser says. Good Lord.
It's like when you get caught speeding and go, I didn't see that sign back then, and I didn't know how fast we were supposed to be going here.
Well, that Dave Chappelle, he's like, I didn't know I couldn't do that.
That's right.
That's right.
Let's do a little front page of the internet.
What you reading there, honey?
It's very exciting stuff, you see. It's the front page of the internet.
Here we go.
The last one. Last Austin Pistulka front page of the internet.
Wow. I'm going to savor this one. Oddly enough, no superheroes in this one. But let's get going with the front page of the internet this morning. Starting off on YouTube's trending page, where the #1 YouTube video. Remember last week I told you about Ryan Trahan, who's going 7 days, started with 1 penny, and he's just working his way up. So he's released the video for days 4 and 5, where he's actually lost a little bit of money because he spent money on food and all that sort of stuff. So he's down to $37. This video has 2.2 million views, and the donations for the Central Texas Food Bank is up to over $10,000, which means he has raised enough money for over 40,000 meals for those in the Central Texas area.
So where's he staying at night?
He actually has a hammock that he just puts up randomly.
Okay, all right. What if it rains? He's stuck in the rain?
He's stuck in the rain.
Okay, all right. So make sure he's not doing that Bear Grylls thing where, like, it's like, we're out here in the wild, and then they're like, and cut. And he's like, okay, where's the Hilton?
That's right. At least he could be doing that, but according to his videos, he's not. So who really knows? happy birthday today to someone who put us all in probably a more dangerous situation. Tony Hawk got a lot of people into skateboarding that, I one time did a full splits on a skateboard because I tried jumping off, one foot stayed on and the other one planted on the ground. Splitsville. It was bad. How old is Tony Hawk today?
Tony Hawk's got to be, he's getting up there, isn't he? Is he 53?
52 popped into my head.
53 is the correct
53.
answer.
Good.
Wow.
Bang on, Mike. Well done.
Wow.
53 years old. And then finally, we have two. I can't believe these are real.
Not one, but two.
Not one, but two. Let's start off with this one from Vice World News, which Vice is actually a relatively reputable source.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure it is.
What do you mean? Yeah, sure it is.
Huh?
Vice is great. Love their documentaries. But from their World News, this is a headline: anti-maskers ready to start masking to protect themselves from the vaccinated. There are so it goes on to say an anti-vaccine conspiracy about the vaccinated are leading some anti-maskers and anti-vaxxers to contemplate wearing a mask and social distancing.
What?
That's from the
To protect
Onion.
themselves from the
It's
vaccinated.
from Vice World News, man.
That is the
right
Onion.
here.
That's an Onion headline.
That is the
you're passing that
left-wing
You're
Onion.
passing that off as real news.
I am
Give
telling
me a
you
break.
right now,
Oh, stop it.
Vice.com. This is a
There
real
it is.
headline.
The liberal leanings
There
trying
you
to make
go.
yeah. There you
wedge
have it.
that in there. And finally, this one is somehow even crazier. Amazon founder Jeff Bezos is buying a 417-foot super yacht that's so massive it has its own, quote, support yacht with a helipad. The estimated cost, not including the boat's support boat, is $500 million. So he's buying a boat so big that it has to that it is effectively made up of smaller boats in order to keep it upright.
Gotta have a tugboat to pull that thing around when it gets in the shallow water.
So you said it was no superhero talk, but he's literally turning into Lex Luthor right before us right now.
Who's more likely to become the big villain? Is it going to be Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk? Be honest with me here.
It might be Jeff.
Well, no, Jeff Bezos is my doppelganger, so I'm gonna go Elon Musk.
Mike, you got to jump into some radioactive sludge and get superpowers, so that way the two of you can duke it out over New York City.
Is Elon Musk married? I know he's got a daughter.
He is
or
married.
a kid. Okay, so at least he's still got a control of all of his money at this point.
That is
whereas
correct.
Bezos and now
Bill Gates.
Bill Gates.
Gates.
Those guys got half their money.
I saw in a story that Bill Gates' kids are only getting $10 million each in the divorce.
Oh no.
They are
I
only
don't know how they're
getting.
going to survive.
I don't know either. It's going to be terrible for them living
They'll
poorly.
have to get those kids will just have to get a regular boat. They won't be able to get a super yacht.
Yeah.
The shame at the country club. How could they face their friends?
Oh, they can't. And that is the front page of the internet today.
That is the final front page of the internet for Austin Pistulka. This is his last day. We are saying farewell to the Sultan of Sound. Text in your farewell wishes to Austin Pistulka if you want to 50857. Let's pause right now for station identification.
WYGM Orlando, WJRR HD2 Cocoa Beach. We are football. We are FM 96.9, The Game.
Martin Truex Jr. wins the Goodyear 400 at Darlington.
That's an ass whipping right there.
Yes, it was.
Yes, it was.
My buddy. Nobody knows NASCAR like our buddy does.
Hey there, buddy, chum, pal, friend, buddy, pal, chum, bud, friend, fella, brother, amigo, pal, buddy, friend, chummy, chum, pal.
Here's Orlando sports TV legend, Buddy Pittman.
Ow! We love talking NASCAR with Buddy Pittman. Nobody knows the sport better. Buddy, I believe Martin Truex Jr., after winning in Darlington, did he just say that was an ass whooping right there? Is that what he said?
Well, he did, and it was. This was just a dominant performance by Martin Truex Jr., and Since they rolled off the truck, they were fast, and they took that right into the race, and they did not even let up. In fact, at the end of stage 2, Martin Truex had a 14-second lead on the field. Now, a lot of times on a track the size of Darlington, a short track like that, you come in for a green flag pit stop, and you will lose a lap or possibly even lose 2 laps. Martin Truex, at one point in the late stages of the race, came in for a green flag pit stop leading the race and did not even lose the lead when he came back out. That was how dominating a performance this was for Truex. He gets his 3rd win of the season. Of course, he won the Southern 500 at Darlington back in 2016, but it's his 30th career win, and he kind of breaks a jinx at Darlington because prior to this, no Cup driver had ever won a stage and then went on to win at Darlington. And by golly, this weekend, to show the dominance, Truex won both stages and then went on to win the race. So he led 248 laps of the 293, just a complete dominating performance. So, yeah, this was Martin Truex Jr. all the way from start to finish.
Kyle Larson obviously pushed him somewhat late in the race. Kyle Larson, again, back from the suspension. He's showing why he got a second chance, isn't he?
He absolutely is, and I think this is exactly what everyone knew was going to happen when he got in real good equipment. Everyone was kind of wondering when he was at Chip Ganassi that, maybe it wasn't the best equipment, and that limited his performance. Now he's in Hendrick Motorsports equipment, and he's showing what he can do. He even had to come back from a speeding penalty on pit road and come back from laps down to be able to come back and get a second-place finish. And by the way, that is the 24th time in Kyle Larson's career that he has finished second. So, this guy is a winner. He's a stiff competitor, and he showed it again on Sunday. You got to give Kyle Busch some props, too. Early in the race, he came out, brushed the wall, spun, but he was able to even come back and get a third-place finish in this one. So he follows up his win from the week before and comes back with a third-place finish. So Kyle Busch is, I think, maybe starting to put it together as well.
Buddy, Big Blue Hat Gary is a loyal listener to this segment. He is a avid NASCAR fan. He loves this segment, and he loves you. He wanted me to ask you this question. All right. Who's a bigger cheater, Bob Baffert, the Kentucky Derby trainer, or Chad Knaus, the former crew chief for Jimmy Johnson?
Well, I don't know that I can really qualify myself as an expert enough to know what Bob Baffert is doing, because it seems like the excuse that he gave for the Kentucky Derby seemed a little, it's one of those where you remove yourself from exposure. But I'm not sure about that situation. But Chad Knaus was, let's put it this way, he knew how to work the rule book. He was just like Ray Evernham was. Ray Evernham studied that rule book when he was with Jeff Gordon, and he would look at every little thing and find the gray area and then go in there and exploit that gray area. And Chad Knaus was exactly the same way. He would look for every little opportunity to come up with every little advantage. Every now and then he'd cross the line, and sometimes he got caught for it. But he was call him an innovator when it comes to working the rule book.
All those crew chiefs in NASCAR, again, there's some that are better than others, but you have to look for that little slight edge that may give you a 1 mile per hour advantage, right?
Oh, you look for an advantage that will give you a tenth of a second advantage over these guys. This is how close this competition has become right now. And, as they say, if you're not cheating, you're not trying. So that means these guys have to go out there, just like you said, and look for every little opportunity they can to gain an advantage of any kind, whether it be in the pit stops, whether it be on how they set the car up, whether it be on any kind of maybe slight advantage they make on the aerodynamics of the car that Sometimes NASCAR catches, sometimes they don't. So, yeah, absolutely, Mike. Every little advantage you can get can make a huge difference. Because, like I say, just in the pits, 1 second in the pits, like at Daytona, will cost you a football field length on the track. So that tells you how critical each and every little second is to these guys, and every advantage they can gain is huge.
So that's why I was reading over the weekend that Joey Logano's crew chief got suspended for unsecured lug nuts. So if you don't secure them, that means you can get out of the pits quicker, right?
Well, yeah. Supposedly, if sometimes maybe a tire changer doesn't get the lug nut secure, instead of going back and securing it, they go ahead and take off, and the lug nuts aren't completely secure. Now, for this particular situation, it's hard to blame the crew chief for that, but that's the way the rule book works. If you have one lug nut, you get fined, which also happened with another team. But if you have two lug nuts unsecured, you not only get fined $20,000 for that, but the crew chief also gets suspended for a week. So that's the way NASCAR set up the rule book to try to make these guys make sure that these lug nuts are secure. But once again, like I say, it's one of those things that $20,000 is not that much money to these guys nowadays, but losing the crew chief for a week, that's going to sting just a little bit. Now, keep in mind, Mike, coming up next year when they go to the next-gen car in 2023, or excuse me, in 2022, they're changing the whole structure. You know how they won't have the 5 lug nuts on the cars anymore. You know how they do with Indy cars, they have that one big ring that they put on and tighten it down, and that holds the tire on. That's what NASCAR is going to next year with the next-gen car. So that'll be a little bit of a difference. It's not going to save much time in the pits as far as pit stops, but it is going to be a big change as far as how NASCAR has always had the 5 lug nuts on the wheels. Now they're going to the one big lug nut. That'll start next season with the new car.
Hey, buddy, real quick, NASCAR has announced that they are going to have full capacity races here very soon. When is that going to start? Do you know?
Well, we just found out that Daytona, by the way, coming up with their race at the end of August, which is the final race of the regular season, they've announced that they will have full capacity crowds. Darlington, for their next race, has announced that they will have full capacity. In Atlanta, Pocono, and Sonoma, coming up, have also announced that they will have full capacity crowds. So it looks like things are starting to open up, and we'll probably, as the season goes on, have more and more of these tracks who come forward and say, yeah, we're going back to full capacity for the fans. And I think that's going to be huge, because we saw a little bit of that, got a little bit of a taste of it this weekend at Darlington, where it wasn't full capacity in the stands, but NASCAR was starting to bring back things like having some of the sponsors, some of the dignitaries and that sort of thing in the pits, allowing fans to get into the pits to a certain extent, and allowing just the culture of NASCAR and the atmosphere of NASCAR to reemerge. So I think they saw a lot of that at Darlington this weekend, at least got a new taste of it, that it's coming back. And so I think they're going to see more and more of that as the season goes on.
Buddy, what do we have this week to look forward to?
Well, Mike, we have a trip to the Monster Mile at Dover Downs. This is always a challenging track for these guys. It's nicknamed White Lightning also because the track is concrete. It was originally asphalt, but in 1995 they repaved it with all concrete, so it's one solid track. Jimmy Johnson was the master there. He had 11 wins at Dover, and Hendrick Motorsports outshines everyone at that track. They have 20 team wins at that track. The next closest team, Joe Gibbs Racing, Roush Fenway, and Penske, each have 8 wins there. So Hendrick Motorsports hands down the dominators when it comes to Dover. But keep in mind, Martin Truex Jr., now we've talked about him. He has 3 wins this season. He also has a win at Dover. He has 3 second-place finishes at Dover. And he got his very first career win at Dover. So don't be surprised if you see Martin Truex Jr. once again being the guy in victory lane, or definitely competing for the win there. Kevin Harvick and Kyle Busch also have 3 wins apiece. So it should be an exciting weekend of racing, but could be another big weekend for Martin Truex Jr.
Buddy, you said the track at Dover is nicknamed White Lightning. Do you remember the old George Jones song, White Lightning?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Oh, mighty, mighty pleasing, Pappy's corn squeezing. Whoo, White Lightning.
Oh, yeah, yes. Sing it, Mike, sing it.
Mighty, mighty pleasing, Pappy's corn squeezings. Whoo, White Lightning. Buddy Pittman, we always appreciate talking a little NASCAR with you. We will talk to you next week, my friend. Thank you so much.
Mike, I look forward to it. Have a great week.
Do you guys know that song, White Lightning?
Yeah, I know that song.
I know Grease
You
Lightning.
have no idea. You have no idea.
I'm
White
from the
Lightning.
country, Mike. I'm from Nebraska. I know all about George Jones. I tell you what.
You know all about them corn squeezings up in Nebraska,
Hell
don't
yeah,
you?
brother. Corn squeezing's a good time.
All right, straight ahead, it's the sound off coming your way on Open Mic.
Now, here's your chance.
Brought to you by the Tampa Bay Rays. We have a 4-pack of Rays tickets to the weekend game against the New York Mets. We're going to give those away right after this segment. What do we have, Kelly Velez?
Sound off. Yeah, we have not signed him. There's a thought going around. He was in the best shape of his life, asked to see if he could work out with a couple of our coaches. I wasn't even there. And they came back to me and said, wow, this guy's in incredible shape. And I said, then I went another time and watched him try him out. And they said, go work on these things. He comes back later. They try him out again. I'm not there. And they come in and they said, wow, this guy's ball skills. He's a great athlete. He looks like he's 18 years old, not 20, whatever he is, 33. And I said, guys, you don't understand now. This guy is, he's the most competitive maniac you're ever going to talk to. And let's give it a shot. And I have not decided if we're going to do that or not yet. I'm getting close. I got to make a decision here pretty soon.
Urban Meyer about having to make a decision on Tim Tebow, Mike. Which way is he leaning?
He's such a liar. Why does he have to lie about everything? I wasn't even there. These guys did this on their own. I wasn't there.
He even says like he was there, but then he says he wasn't there, and he says, we haven't signed him. And then I said, let's go ahead and do this, but I haven't made up my mind.
He's just all over the board.
He is a 7-year-old kid. When he lies. It's unbelievable.
Wow.
And here's the other thing. We actually have a poll up about this, all right? If Urban Meyer wanted to sign a former Gator to play tight end for the Jaguars, why not sign one of his other recruits at UF? Why not sign Trey Burton? He's out there. Why not sign Trey Burton? Trey Burton's a free agent. He's been a pretty good tight end in the league, hasn't he?
Yeah, I mean, except for, what is he the... Oh, no, I'm thinking of Jordan Reed. He just retired. Yeah, and Trey's been actually in the NFL for a while.
Playing tight end, too. Wow, imagine that. So, anyway. All right, that's enough of Urban Liar.
Sound off. I never thought of it, but Russell Westbrook is a great example of the guy who would bring it. Look at the guy. Athletic. He understands the game of basketball. He's all over the court. He's the guy. The guy is sensational as far as I'm concerned.
The Big O commenting on Russell Westbrook breaking that triple-double record. Adam, did you think that would be a record that would be reached by anybody right now?
No. To be honest, growing up, it's kind of like one of those records that you only know of the Big O at my age because the high reverence people hold him in and what he was able to do with triple doubles. And never did I imagine that there's going to be a guy in my lifetime that could do this and then do it. I don't want to say with relative ease, but Westbrook is essentially a walking triple double almost every night. It's amazing what he's been able to accomplish. So no, I didn't ever expect it to get broken. But as you watch Russell Westbrook play his entire career, you see why. The guy puts up numbers, can score. He rebounds for a guy. What's Russell Westbrook? 6'3", 6'4", maybe?
Probably like 6'4".
For him to be pulling down. Well, I saw the other night he had like 20-something rebounds, and they said there's centers in the NBA that don't get 20-something rebounds in a game. That guy works hard and probably doesn't get the respect he deserves because he hasn't won. Because he hasn't won big. But as an individual player, he's really damn good.
You know why he gets those?
6'3".
I was going to say he's 6'3", and he has a 6'8" wingspan. That's how he's grabbing all those rebounds. Brother.
And he can jump out the gym. Jeez.
By the way, the Big O, fellow Orlando, and he lives right here in Orlando.
Woo!
Sound off.
I didn't like that. I didn't like the last part of the comment. The first half of it about what Steph was doing was I'm with you. 49 and 29 minutes is, I think everybody in here can agree that that's remarkable and truly amazing, right? So nobody's arguing that. But I didn't mention you. My hamstrings have nothing to do with why I go out there and play the game. And for me to injure my hamstring and then you kind of make a joke about it, I don't take that too fondly, honestly, because I take pride.
I guess you can't joke anymore, but man, whatever. I don't know, man. I feel like I'm a pretty lighthearted guy. I stay at my own lane. I don't, say things that ruffle feathers. But hey, man, it's just if you want to know what my loyalty is, it's the SC30. So, I mean, anybody out there chasing them, it's going to be tough. But, you know, whatever. It kind of got out of hand. I didn't check my phone all day.
I didn't check my phone. Kent Bazemore and Bradley Beal commenting about each other's comments together, Mike. What a situation going on out there. And listen, Bradley Beal will score 50 on Kent Bazemore any day.
Yeah, but we're not talking about whether Bradley Beal's as good as Bazemore. We're talking about Bradley Beal's Steph Curry, and that's what Bazemore was commenting on. He was saying, hey, Bradley Beal, although he didn't mention him by name, he said we have players tweaking their hamstrings to try to keep up with Steph Curry, which again, it was funny. It was a good-natured comment. He wasn't being malicious toward Bradley Beal. Bradley Beal obviously very, very sensitive about his reputation in the league because he's played on a bad team and a bad franchise for years. Even though he's one of the best scorers in the league, Bradley Beal wants more respect, and he felt disrespected about that. But I think it was a little too sensitive. I thought it was a funny comment.
Sound off. Supplemental poll number 2. How worried should the PGA Tour be about a Saudi-backed premier golf league that is trying to lure the top players in the world with promises of big money? Should they be so worried? Somewhat worried or not worried?
I'm going to go somewhat worried at this point, but bordering on so worried. I
love that Mike try to match that energy right now. Our very own Austin Pistulka, man. I'm going to miss that loudness of your personality, man. Adam, what is going on? Where's he going? Why is this happening?
Listen, the guy wants to go back home, start a family, and needs cheap babysitters, I mean,
absolutely.
Listen, if he's going to stay in the radio industry, you're going to find a lot of stuff that's cheap, okay? Because there ain't a whole lot of money to be spent around here. So yeah. Now, will I miss the? No, there's a lot of other things about Austin I'll miss. That one right there, but it's part of his. It's part of his charm. It's part of his charm.
Mike's gonna miss it, right, Mike?
Yeah, he'll miss it.
I laugh every time. Every time he does it, I laugh. I don't know why. It's supposedly not good radio to yell into the microphone, but I think it's funny, and I think it's good radio.
He says it's not good radio. It's great TV. Stephen A. Smith makes $10 million a year doing that. Terrible on radio, but good on TV.
I think I started doing that during the pandemic specifically because I would yell into the microphone at Mike because we would have arguments, and people texted in about Austin constantly yelling into the microphone, and so I kind of turned it into a thing during the blast because that was the perfect time to do it.
By the way, we actually had a request on the text line. Can we get a couple of so muches? Somebody texted.
We're gonna get so much of the yelling into the microphone. Let me tell you.
Sound off. That's the sound off today, ladies and gentlemen, which means.
Oh hell yeah! We've got tickets. We're giving away a 4-pack of tickets to the Tampa Bay Rays taking on the Mets this weekend. Give us a call right now, 407-916-8255. That's 407-916-8255 because we've got a 4-pack of tickets to the Rays games coming up this weekend. Give us a call. Mike, tell the beautiful people what's coming up next.
Well, straight ahead, what's coming up, we're going to get back into a topic. Actually, we're not going to get back into it. We're going to introduce a topic. The Oakland A's are thinking of relocating. Could they be the Orlando A's? That's next on Open Mic.
What does Mike Bianchi and
It is Austin Pistulka's final day here on Open Mic. The Sultan of Sound is saying adios, going back home to Nebraska to start his family. That's a nice story, Austin. You got to go back home. You can always go home again, can't you, Austin?
That's right. I'm heading back to the good life.
Yeah, going back to God's country up in Nebraska.
Hell yeah.
He will be missed. Text in 50857 your farewell wishes to the Sultan of Sound, one Austin Pistulka. We've gotten some on our text line, 50857. First of all the local shows on 96.9 The Game are awesome, from Open Mic to Magic Drive Time. Now, good luck, Austin. I wish you well on your future endeavors and hope you'll be back on Open Mic from time to time.
Well, you're going to need a Nebraska representative,
yeah,
of
absolutely.
course. I mean, especially when we go on and win the national championship.
Whenever Scott Frost gets fired, we'll want a reaction from Nebraska.
I will be more than happy to give that reaction.
We will miss you, Austin. Hope you enjoy the negative 20-degree winters.
You know what I say about the cold weather? I like the cold weather.
It won't be the same without the SOS, the Sultan of Sound. Love his comforting voice on the way to work. Hope you become a conservative member of society one day.
Do you want some from Twitter, Mike? Because I have some from Twitter.
Absolutely.
This from D says, thanks for keeping the little guy in his place, Austin.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Frank in Florida says, no hate for Austin. He's a stand-up guy. D. Rooks said that I knew the Hicks who tune into the show would select liberal leanings as far as your... He goes, I picked screaming into the microphone being my least hated, my most hated thing. And then finally, everybody's so sensitive about politics. LOL, keep up the good work, Austin.
Oh, thanks so much,
That one was from Holy Gator.
I love Holy Gator. We talk a lot on Twitter.
Do you really?
Holy Gator.
I see his tweets a lot.
Oh.
And I respond every once in a while.
Oh, okay. I was like,
no, I'm not.
Just seeing his tweets doesn't constitute like.
I tweet back.
Right.
Hey, remember, you can tweet me at Radio Guy Austin, Instagram at Radio Guy Austin, and on TikTok at
That was just fake news.
We also have some more here now on the text machine. Austin, I'll miss your positive, upbeat attitude and your laugh, but I won't miss those political views. Good luck in all of your future endeavors. Where's Austin going to work? Frank Gay Plumbing. I know that's his voice on those commercials.
Those commercials. I'm only for the blast, brother. That's not my voice there. Frank Gay. I should have called Frank Gay. That's not me. It should be me. I can voice over anything.
Somebody just texted in, hey, brother, you will be so missed. Best wishes.
Hell yeah, brother. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Thanks so much.
There you have it. Farewell to Austin Pistulka. I said this earlier this morning. I'll say it again for our later listeners. I'm going to miss Pistulka. I really am. Even though I give him grief about his political leanings and I call him a socialist and all of that. Again, we had a quote earlier this morning, our inspirational quote of the day. What was it? There's no elevator to success. You have to take the stairs. Was that it?
That's right. Yep.
That was the quote. And I said this earlier. Austin has taken the stairs since he's been on this show. He has worked his patootie off.
Figuratively.
Yeah, if you've seen his physique, you know he doesn't often.
No cardio, only heavy lifting, okay?
Yeah. But the man has been doing the heavy lifting on this show for a year and a half since he's been here. And since Austin, Adam, and myself got together on this show, it's been better than it's ever been. And now with Kelly joining the show, it's going to continue to be the #1 rated sports show in Orlando. And we suffered a blow during the pandemic when Adam went on furlough, but now he's back, thank God. But during the pandemic, Austin Pistulka, he rose to the occasion. Austin and I, during the pandemic, with no sports to talk about, the contrived topics we came up with, this day in sports history. Yeah. It was unbelievable.
It's an extended summer.
Oh, it really was. It was crazy.
Exactly what it was. Yeah, except there was not even any baseball to talk about, for crying out loud.
We talked more about NFL free agency than I think because the NFL kept on kicking. We would always have a precursor segment to the bridge, which would end up just being, hey,
will college football ever be the same?
What will college football look like? And we're like, I don't know. Well, this guy said this. It was like, oh, I will never forget those.
I am a little jealous. I didn't get my, with the furlough, I didn't get my, like, hey, really going to miss you, buddy. It was more like, I don't recognize this number coming from Winter Garden. Let me answer this. What? Don't come in ever.
What happened to Adam? Huh? What? What do you mean?
The text line notice.
Dude, I was the news dump. Like like on
you drop it on a Friday, and it's like, all right, maybe it'll be over by Monday. I remember the text coming in. Hey, we've noticed Adam's been on secret assignment for a long time now.
Yeah.
Is that what Mike was saying in the very beginning? Secret assignment?
Yeah, because we were like, oh, maybe
maybe in a week or so.
Yeah, it'll be only a couple weeks. He'll be back. No big deal. Yeah.
When in doubt, just tweet at me and I'll let you know.
That's right.
I have this weird thing where I can't lie. So if you ever really want to know anything, just ask me.
It's funny. I've got an AMA and Ask Me Anything going on my Instagram at Radio Guy Austin right now. Plug City, baby.
This guy.
That's right.
Squeezing them. Last drop.
Somebody just texted in, what's Adam going to do without his liberal parrot, Austin?
I am proud to say that in the last 2 elections, I didn't vote for
anybody.
The right or the left. No, I did vote. I did. But right. I didn't vote for the crazy guy on the right or the crazy guy on the left or the crazy girl on the left. I didn't do any of that.
That was just fake news.
Yeah.
All right, straight ahead, we're going to get to the blast. We got some Tebow topics to talk about. Also, we're going to get to the Oakland A's, perhaps. Could it be becoming the Orlando Rays? That is next on Open Mic.
96.9 The Game, FM, HD, online at 969thegame.com, on your phone with the iHeartRadio app.